Hello and welcome to Too Much Time on Our Hands. Just the three of us tonight. Everyone wave, wave. It. Oh, did I? I'm sure I put the hands in there, but
Start
anyway.
again. Start again. I'm joking.
Sure.
Just
Anyway,
carry on.
no Tom tonight. Let's face it, it's his birthday. So big happy birthday. It is exactly what he asked. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Um, yep. So you're stuck with us. So I'm going to go anti-clockwise, um, the other way around. I know. I don't get it. Doesn't matter. I'm still gonna. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So because of that, I'm gonna start with Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm
Yeah.
I'm good. Hang on. On the screen, he's got it right if he's going anti-clockwise. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's got it right if he's going clockwise. He's, he's got it. No, he's got it right if he's going clockwise. My bad. Don't do that. No point.
Well, so I was gonna start with Russ, but he got all pedantic and near near near, because he's had a snifter of whiskey or rum. I don't know.
I'm off the
Um,
booze tonight.
oh, good for you, Russ. How are you? Dan, how are you? I did ask, and you
Yeah, I'm
like
great. I'm actually
looking
surprisingly good. Yeah.
looking wonderful.
Thank you.
Um,
How's you?
Russ, how are you doing? And I've been listening to a bit of Windrose and weird power metal, and so I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Good for you.
Diggy
Russ, how are
diggy
you?
hole, diggy diggy hole. I would recommend it. Anyway, enough of
What
that.
power
Tonight,
metal have you been listening to, Duncan? I'm genuinely intrigued.
Glory Hammer. Well, this is the Spotify power metal mix, and there are some cracking covers, including Dragon Force's. No, is it Dragon Force who did the cover of My Heart Will Go On? Um, there's Avantasia's have a cover of Lay Your Love on Me, and it turns out if the original song is actually pretty good, it's still pretty hard to ruin the cover. Apart from Dan's take on Ghost
That's
cover
fucking
of.
shit. That song, that version of that song is shit. Like, it's anyone that thinks it's good hasn't heard the original. That's Yeah.
It
Fuck me.
it's 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 a controversial take in this house. So we will. Uh, um
Do you just mumble my way through this bit that originally Shakespeare's sister actually sang their way through? Do you want to do that? Maybe? No? All right. Fine, cool. And also, the video's got one of the most wonderful performances as a devil ever, as a lot
well
of death ever. And she's just going fucking chewing the scenery in that as well. And yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
that
incredible. And she probably gave me some very early like rumblings, I would say, as well.
um well both of
Siobhan
them.
Fahy, is that Siobhan something?
Siobhan Fay
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
originally,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Bananarama, and then they on the advice of another guy, one of the guitarists,
Mm.
they got what's the name? Can't remember the other one. Both actually turns out I would say both hot. Like looking
Yeah.
at now, it's like that would definitely, if teenage me would have been.
Obviously, yeah.
Well,
That's
no,
pretty
because
much how it works.
obviously I love this. I love the song. Didn't really think about what they look like until watched the video and went, "Oh, this might explain also why my dad liked the video." Anyway, I also understand why he liked Belinda Carlisle. Anyway,
I
right.
saw your dad today, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, nice.
He didn't see me.
So apart from this being top quality filler, tonight we decided we were going to do a wee bit of a catch up, kind of an
Hmm.
idea of maybe reviewing a few things that we finished, um, and anything else we've kind of been doing and seen,
Maybe
because
some we haven't started yet.
some we haven't started because like essentially The Bear season 2 has dropped. Dan might not have watched it all quite yet,
I haven't
but I
watched any
know
of it yet.
none of it yet. But
No.
season 1 is very much talked about. It's one of the top rated shows. So we thought, why not? Russ has just finished Andor, and I've just finished Kith and Kin, the Critical Role book. I'm very pleased because that's the first book I've finished since Connell was born. So I'm
Let's
kind of pleased.
let's just have a catch up. Like
Yeah,
we've got loads of stuff that we've been doing. Doesn't have to be TV because I've actually done very little TV or film watch. I've actually done a ton of film watching. I don't know what I'm talking about. I can talk about the films I watched as well.
yeah,
But yeah. So with the bear, maybe kick things off with that if that's all right. Just
yeah.
because it's less about yeah yeah. I hate you. I hate you so much. How fucking much is there of Below Deck? I don't. You're right.
I
Mm,
So I decided I would start watching it
mm.
because everyone it's such well, Dan's been going on about it a lot, but other people have been going on about it. So I decided to watch it and immediately got hungry.
Yeah.
Um, and
Mm,
that beef, I love cooking. I love cooking programs anyway. And
mm.
now a whole thing about cooking and a restaurant and the food in it looks good. And the fact is, I just love the premise. Just he's a Noma chef,
Mm.
and that's fantastic because I'm going to do a wee bit of drop. I haven't met the founder and one of the head chefs of Noma.
Really?
Uh, yeah, yeah, man, I hang out in interesting circles. Um, so this was
You
back
mean
in
literal interesting circles, though, like circles in the middle of nowhere. You've drawn us.
Cast
Yeah.
them. That
Yeah.
honestly, sometimes top chefs are the weirdest people,
No.
and uh, so anyway, it's great that it's just the premise is already amazing. So Dan, tell us about the bear. Why should we watch the bear? And should we have eaten a sandwich beforehand?
Yeah. Eat before you watch it, because otherwise you'll be ordering.
So
It's.
hungry.
I'll tell you what. Do not go shopping after you've watched the bear. You will. Yeah. You'll have
I
a
looked at
trolley full of meat.
I will admit I saw his knives. I was like, I've got one of those. Like not the one that his big chopping
Yeah.
knife, but he has got a sashimi knife
Yeah.
of the same brand. I was like, I've got one of them. So anyway, yeah,
So
Dan the bear.
So I haven't watched season 2 yet. For a full disclosure, this was more
Not
about getting you guys to watch it because it was one of those things that was recommended to me by all people of all people. Actually, a Green Bay Packers fan. That's weird enough. Um,
what that you
and
listen to a Green Bay's Packers.
sure, yeah, why not? But like, I'm not going to insult him because he's recommended a great recommendation with the bear. Ollie Hunter, if you won't be watching this, but you might know him already anyway, said, I put up, I want to watch a new TV series. What shall I watch? And he went, you got to watch the bear. And this was actually, I think, before it was getting buzz that it's getting now. So I said, oh, fine, I'll watch one episode. Before I knew it, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd watch the whole thing. And I think most episodes are between 30 and 40 minutes long. It's 8 episodes. It is a propulsive TV series that something happens that furthers the story in every single episode. It's tight, which is great. I love a TV series that's not like flabby, like in terms of like there's too much of something, we spend too much with someone, we spend too little with someone else. I like a TV series that is just quick and to the point, and that's what this TV series is. It is truly excellent. It is one of the tensest TV series I've ever watched as well. Like in every episode, something is going wrong and they've got to deal with the situation. And it's not like Schitt's Creek, which is a series I love, but for very different reasons. This is like, okay, stuff's going wrong and I need to deal with it right now. And I love that. One episode 7 in particular is one of the tensest things I've ever watched. and it is incredible.
It, I will say, it does cover the pace of a kitchen really nicely.
And it's designed to do so. It's they've had chefs watch it and they've said, given it credit for its accuracy. Yeah. 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 No, this is it feels tight. It feels like the actual kitchen itself feels really, really tight. So it's like they get around it by shouting corner every time they're going around the corner, because everything is like incredibly tight. And that might be how it works in the kitchen. I've never really worked in a kitchen, so I don't know. But it just feels claustrophobic. Everything feels like it's on the edge of collapse at all times, including the characters. And the idea that the characters are kind of being won over one by one throughout the episodes is really, really cool. There's a couple of great flashbacks in it as well. Duncan, when you get to the one in episode 2, it's got a cameo of someone that's someone I really like, playing a complete fucking cunt. That's the best way of describing him. He's generally like a comedy actor, and in this one he's like, fucking hell. And I just think it's one of those things that for 4 hours worth of TV, I'm probably a little bit more than 4 hours, maybe close to 5. It is incredible how much you get through and the roller coaster of emotions you go through. And I can't wait to sit and watch season 2. I'm already hearing really good things about season 2, so I'm very excited about it.
I mean, it opens really emotionally tense and difficult, and then it just feels like it continues.
Yeah,
I'm going to say the filmography, the photography is beautifully done.
Yeah,
like everything about it, like the lighting when you obviously how it opens, but then the bits where you get little snapshots of a bear, featuring in pictures or something and the light, how they get the lights flickering at the right moment and everything. Oh my god, it's the cinematography. It's beautiful. It's really nicely done, and also then the shots of the food. Oh,
yeah. Can I also stress? Yeah, no, it looks.
Oh,
yeah, no, it looks great in this. To be fair,
but the food is the funniest bit, because it's like, and now relax. Here's a nice shot of some beef marinating and seasoning. You're like, oh.
Yeah. I feel like I've got to get this one out there as well. Yes, it's set in Chicago. No, it's not about the Bears. So, like, I want to stress that there is very little reference to the Chicago Bears in this TV series. It just happens to be called The Bear and set in Chicago. Makes me want to go back to Chicago, though. Is one thing I would say. It's
makes me wish that cafe was real, actually, because
I know,
they're
right?
cooking
The
beef like that.
Incredible.
I just want it. I
food
might
is
try it
amazing.
on Emma. I don't know if it would be too. Oh no, we watched Thin Blue Line, so like, oh no, Line of Duty, not Thin Blue Line.
I was about to say Thin Blue Line's a comedy.
Line of Duty. You can tell that I get confused very.
Yeah,
everything's too much for me.
Yeah, but it's I'd say it's definitely it's. I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching season 2. I'm kind of saving a bit. I probably had a chance to do it today, but I didn't have got around to it. And I will almost certainly be sitting and watching it over the next few days. Very, very excited about it. Hopefully, I think it's Yeah.
I'm pretty sold even halfway through episode 1.
Even his cousin, like the person who plays the cousin in this, he's such a fucking pain in the ass. But like, yeah, he's so well played. So I haven't told you what the story is. The idea is, you say, it's like this gnome chef that has to come back to Chicago to run his brother's sandwich shop. Well, it's not a sandwich shop, is it? They just do lunches basically. Because like the one thing they're talking,
it's a sandwich cafe.
yeah,
And
but they talk about doing spaghetti bolognese, don't they?
yeah, but then
Well, yeah.
he drops it saying it doesn't make sense on the menu.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but it's the best thing. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't pasta.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, he has to come back after his brother kills himself, and run his brother's sandwich shop. It's really good. There's not much more to it than that. It's the stress of the fact that he's having to deal with the grief of losing his brother, whilst also having to try and keep this business going that mysteriously has been hemorrhaging money as well, not just to like the bills they have to pay, but also loan sharks, which is a bit of a problem as well. So yeah, really good, really good show. Well worth a watch if you haven't watched it. So yeah,
definitely gonna try and get that in there.
Definitely.
It's one of like, it's the big sort of prestige TV thing at the moment, really, isn't it?
And it deserves to be. It genuinely, I think it definitely deserves to be. I haven't watched Succession because they all look like cunts, but like I just I will probably watch it at some point.
There's quite a lot of Succession though, which is always a bit of a barrier to entry.
Yeah, I look at it and go, and I know it's one of those that people will get, actually that's the point, but I look at it and go, I'm not going to like anyone in this series.
Dan,
I kind of come up against the same thing with that.
Yeah.
I will say it was our other NFL football group that persuaded me to watch The Bear, because not just I don't just want to listen to what Dan tells me to watch.
Good. That's the right thing to do. Well done.
So anyway, it was also because Sandy's. I think it was Sandy. Anyway, yeah.
Sandy knows his shit. If Sandy says to watch something, then
yeah, we should
no one knows
watch
who
it.
Sandy is. Doesn't matter. But yeah,
It doesn't matter. But he's the king, so
yeah.
Just
anyone in your life called Sandy tells you to watch something, watch it. I think that's the answer.
Probably good, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right. What do we want to talk about next then? I just kind of want to get that one out of the way.
I don't mind.
Russ, should we catch up with the fact that Russ watched a year-old TV series finally?
Well, I haven't finished Andor yet.
It's not a year.
How have you not finished it yet?
Because I've got small children and work.
How far through it are you? Because I don't want to get overexcited and spoil things.
I'll just get overexcited, but I'm like halfway through.
Okay.
I've been savouring it, and it's just...
Then we don't want to spoil it.
We won't spoil it.
I watched it.
But
I won't spoil it because Twitter exists.
It is phenomenal. Like I couldn't quite believe how good it was while I was watching it. Like,
do you know how good it is? It made me appreciate all Star Wars, because it made me go, maybe I just don't like the Jedi stuff that much.
Well, so I was thinking about all this. Like, you've got to, because there's been quite a lot of like, this is the best Star Wars.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's a relevant question.
I mean,
because if you compare, like, it's so different. Like, there's now such a range of stuff. You can't compare Andor and like Rebels, which is a kids' cartoon. They are so far apart. So this is a bit like Rogue One, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, this is laser focused on people like us, old nerds who have loved Star Wars since they were tiny and now are old. Like, you couldn't show Andor to children. It's not a kids thing. Whereas the movies are for children, more or less, which is why crusty old bastards like us moan about them, apart from the last one, which is just objectively terrible. But so, you know, if you're coming at it, so I don't think there's any point in saying this is better than the movies or whatever, but this is the best Star Wars thing that is focused on adults, and you know, is tackling things in an adult way. If you so like talking about the birth of the rebellion and all that, if you compare it to Solo, which sort of clumsily tried to do that at the end when all these cool Mad Max bikers take off their helmets and do that awkward speech about being the spark that lights the fire, that sets off the kindling, that touches the fuse, that will light the match, that will blow up the bottle that starts the rebellion.
Yeah.
And something weird about stealing some crystals. That felt a bit, okay, sure, whatever. And we're meant to believe that the Rebel Alliance comes out of that. Okay, whatever. It didn't really feel very convincing. Whereas this is amazing at sort of this terrified, stressed knot of defiant people. And they're not even a cohesive unit yet. They're just these ragtag bunches of people who are all pissed off and all doing stuff, and they don't even like or trust each other necessarily. Oh, it's so good. Also, the dialogue in it is gorgeous, and Star Wars is quite famously known for having absolute shite. Like, it doesn't have dialogue, it just has some bullet points that get you from this scene to this scene. Like, it doesn't do artistic prose, whereas like there's like 4 or 5 incredible monologue soliloquy speeches in this. Like, I think 2 of them in the same episode, and they both just leave you going, holy fucking shit, this is amazing. That is genuinely some of the best TV writing I've heard in a really long time, and it's in a fucking Star Wars show. That doesn't make any sense.
The one that Stellan Skarsgård is talking to,
his one.
That is so unbelievably good.
And there's another really good one in that same episode, and oh my god. And then you've got it's genuinely funny in places. It's got a droid who's not a prick. It's got amazing actors that you recognise from soap operas and things popping up all over the place. You've got a character who is a Nazi extremist who you spend the first few episodes rooting for to get one over on her dick of a boss before you go, oh, hang on, no, she's just now better at being a Nazi. She's not a good person, and I feel really bad that I've been rooting for her this whole time. Oh, it's so good.
Mon Mothma's history is genuinely fucking heartbreaking as well.
They've finally actually done something interesting with Mon Mothma, as opposed to just her being someone in white who gives them orders.
Botham's died.
Yeah. I think part of why it's so good is it's not tying itself in knots to tick all these Star Wars boxes. You get a few mentions of things that bring it into the overall narrative, but it's not really trying to fit into these tiny gaps that are left behind other things. And really, it's a show about imperialism and oppression. Yeah. And you could take it and you could change the Imperials to literal Nazis and have it set in occupied France. You could change them to the British and have it set in India in the 19th century. You could change them to Russian aristocracy during the revolution. It could be it could go anywhere and it would work perfectly well, except this has also got a high-tech prison with Andy Serkis in it for one of the best arcs as well.
That's the best chunk of it, because it's split into 4 chunks, isn't it?
You've kind of got like the home bit, the Aldani bit, the prison bit,
and then
sort of one bridging episode, and then the end bit. I don't want to go into details, because like seriously, even if you've seen stuff on the internet, Duncan, you don't want to spoil it. Just get it watched as soon as you can, because it's a real treat.
Yeah. Prison bit is, I don't know. I had to kind of watch it through the gaps in my fingers for that one, because
the tension, like, and a few times. So like when they're pulling off the heist, when they're in the prison bit, in the big event that brings everyone together in the last episode, the tension just ratchets and ratchets and ratchets and ratchets up until something explodes. It's really, really well done. really well drawn characters, amazing dialogue. You would not think you were talking about a Star Wars thing.
My favourite, I can't. Is Luther? It's Stellan Skarsgård's character.
Lutheran, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
It's
just
I
spectacular.
love how he's like when he's himself, he's like hard, kind of like taskmaster, kind of general that's willing to do anything to get one over on the Empire. And then as soon as he changes to interesting shop owner,
Yeah,
the
his sort of
difference in his face. is-
Elaginous shopkeeper. It's
Yeah.
amazing with his flouncy hair.
It's so good, so good. It was my two favorite TV series last year were The Bear and Andor.
Was Andor really last year? Am I that late with it?
Yeah, yes, you are.
Jesus.
And I like the fact that even the rebels aren't necessarily good in this one as well. At times,
Nobody's really good, are they?
Yeah.
It's it's a real everyone's having to come to terms with what they're going to have to do.
yeah,
Nobody's really happy about it, and they're all hugely compromised. And things like ideals just don't last. He kind of talks about that in his amazing soliloquy. I'm cursed to use the tools of my enemy against them,
yeah.
which is an absolute sort of torn out of the history books type sentiment. It's absolutely.
I also
amazing.
love if you're after a love story between two space Nazis, then this is the TV series for you as well.
Where the comic relief is the Nazi incel, and his horrific mother, who's
Yes,
one of the best things in it. Just sort of this tiny little diminutive woman who just sort of creeps out of the shadows and says something absolutely scathing to him and then disappears again.
Yeah,
She
that
was
is awesome.
she played the witches in
yeah.
one of the more recent adaptations of Macbeth, and I can totally see. I haven't seen it, but I can completely imagine that.
But that's a bit like Trevor from EastEnders.
Yeah, Trevor
He's
from
in this as
EastEnders
well.
is fucking in it.
Yeah,
And he's a
He was
really
in-
great guy.
he was in the Batman as well, though, wasn't he?
Oh, was he really?
Yeah,
Amazing.
He's like made like a bit of himself, a bit of a career for himself as a Hollywood actor now. So yeah, but he's great in this.
Good on you,
It's
Trevor
just-
from EastEnders.
Yeah,
I do like the fact that you have to keep on reminding yourself this is Star Wars because
yeah,
when
So
it
you could honestly forget every now and then. But then there are also some really good Star Warsy set pieces. There's some great droid stuff. There's some great alien stuff. There's some great. There's one of the best starship fight sequences.
yeah.
There are some proper good Star Warsy bits in there, but it's not kind of. It's not just drawing the dots between various bits of fan service like some of the shows have been.
Yeah.
And if you take
Absolutely.
like if you were to compare it to, say, the Book of Boba Fett,
Yeah.
I mean, this is just on a different level. It's like it's not even playing the same game.
But
Yeah.
I think one of the key things is how it starts without even the Imperium really featuring. Like they're there, but they're not, because the first thing is it's local planet security. They're
'cause it's
not
cheaper.
they're not the Empire, so they don't even want the Empire down. They just want to do it themselves. But
Yeah.
I just no that
They're contracted.
start. Yeah, but that start is fantastic. Like because it's no one. And it's just the galaxy, and I think that's what the setting
Yeah.
really does. In the same way that the Mandalorian started with, you don't really start with any of the rebels. You don't start with not the rebels. You don't start with the new Republic involved, and then they just sort of creep in. This doesn't really start with the Empire. It just sort of features later on. I quite like that. I mean, I very much like that.
Also, it's got Doc Brown in it as well, so that's good.
Yeah, like I love that guy,
Yeah.
but you can hate him in this.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He's-
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they're like, how British can you guys go? Because we're going to really ramp that up. You're not just Imperials, you're the ISB. You are the Britishest of the British.
Yeah. You're the biggest pricks in the fucking show, is what you are. Yeah. I love that there's a real element of how the rebellion's actually going to work. Is it because at every stage they're going to be underestimated by the Empire as well? Like, they're going to win because they're being underestimated throughout the whole fucking saga.
Yeah. And because they're just lucky in some respects as well. And, you know, they just... It's messy and unplanned and uncoordinated. Very well done. So it was like definitely. The birth of the rebellion thing, way better than Solo, which, let's face it, had its moments, but was generally pretty terrible.
Yeah, I think people knew that well, you know, so you'd hope anyway, because Solo is pretty terrible.
There's some bits in it that I genuinely did quite like. But
I like how he got his name.
Oh my god, yeah. That's quite terrible.
Like, Han Solo is one of the coolest names in sci-fi. You ruined it, you motherfuckers. How did you manage Han, and you're going on your own, Solo? There we go. Excellent. Thanks for that.
If the guy just said it, it would probably have been okay. It's he went, Han, turn to camera, wink, knowing look, because it's the... Are you all paying attention? Solo.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't mind, but then they called the fucking film Solo.
Yeah.
So, like, essentially, you're naming it after one of the weakest parts of the fucking film, how he got his name.
Because really, he probably would have just gone, oh, yeah, whatever. He's not going to go, I'm going to call myself that for the rest of my life.
It is up there with the Land Raider in 40k, not being named because it raids land, but being named because after someone called Arkan Land.
Yes, that is a silly bit of
trivia. Fucking bonkers is what it is. It's so stupid. Except, you know, they'll never put that in a film, whereas they did put that in a fucking film with Dan Solo. So, but yeah.
I bet they thought they were being clever when they did that.
I bet they all just sat around and went, "Yeah, let's do that. People will love that."
Also, there's no reason. Like, why couldn't he just be called Han Solo to start with?
Yeah.
Like, there doesn't need to be a big bit where he gets his name. So whatever. But yeah, so that's the main thing that I've been consuming recently and genuinely blown away by. Also, just quickly, I watched. I've been trying to like hit some stuff that I've been meaning to watch. So that was like Andor was definitely one of those, and I finally got around to watching Arrival, a mere maybe 10 years after it came out.
It's a great film,
guys. It's a really good film.
It's cracking. It's a cracking film.
Yeah, I think this Denis Villeneuve guy could do some interesting stuff in the future.
Yeah,
no chance.
Associated with that, I finally got around to watching the Dune 2 trailer. I haven't watched Dune yet. It's now on Amazon Prime, and I'm going to watch it. I don't need to look. I've read the books. I've read them multiple times. Like,
then you don't need to watch the trailer. You don't need to watch anything. Then
don't need to watch anything. I've read the books. Yeah. It's fucking fine. But I'm obviously going to. And yeah, the trailer. That looks so cool, and so like, I better watch the first one. Get busy. Got to get busy because it's coming out in November.
Yeah, you've got a mere 4 months to watch one 3-hour film.
Do you know how difficult that is? That is going to take 3 nights and probably 3 weeks.
Yeah, cool. But it's well worth doing. And you kind of could, like, it does kind of break up quite naturally as well. You could watch it in sort of sections without it really losing anything. I'm sure that's not exactly how the director would prefer you to watch it, but you could do.
But that's what's going to happen.
Then watch Blade Runner 2049 afterwards, which is also fucking great.
We really want to watch that, and I don't know why we haven't got around to it. Because even Emma wants to watch it, I think. I'm sure she said in the past.
Have you read the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep 2?
Yes, of course I've read the fucking book.
Don't need to watch it then, do you?
No, I
No, is
don't
that
need to watch it. No, the fucking. Anyway, yeah, I do need to watch it because I would like to. The films are always different from the book.
And also,
Blade
they
Runner is
haven't done a
very
book for
different
Blade Runner
from
2049, have they?
No,
the story.
there was never
No.
a sequel.
No, that was the joke there. So shut up, yeah.
Shut
Come
the
at the
fuck
king,
up.
you better not miss. What have you been up to, Duncan? I've got other things I want to talk about, but you go for it.
I did watch the Napoleon trailer, and then I
What?
started reading quite a large amount of history about Napoleon and enjoying the fact that Dan
Oh,
Snow.
Napoleon. Yeah.
Napoleon. It
I
got
thought you said like the lympholian. I think my
no,
my thing just glitched out for a
Napoleon,
sec.
and I'm just quite enjoying historians losing their shit over it.
I guess
So,
it's-
it's
Yeah,
so
I mean, like,
inaccurate.
people are like, whatever people are like, oh, this isn't like scientifically accurate or historically accurate. I'm like, you do understand the concept of movies, don't you?
Exactly.
So
I-
whatever.
I think it looks pretty good. I think it's probably going to be very long, and
I have two questions.
yeah,
So it's Ridley Scott, right?
yeah,
Is he directing?
yeah.
Did he write it?
Don't know.
Okay. If he wrote it, it'll be shit. If he didn't, it'll probably be quite good.
I mean, he probably did pick Joaquin Phoenix to be Napoleon.
Joaquin.
Joaquin. I don't know. It looks all right. I mean,
He did not write
Dan's-
it.
so I reckon it's going to reasonably follow the timeline. Napoleon had quite a Belichick
Bonaparte?
kind of. Yeah. Buonaparte was their original name, family name. Dan Snow was like, he didn't come from nothing. He came from minor nobility. It's like, so he came from mediocrity and did very well. Anyway, when Dan Snow gets irate,
But
it's
he
quite funny.
fucking loved that water slide, didn't he? Fucking loved it. And the ice cream parlor as well. He loved that as well. I'm assuming it'll cover the more recent boner history, Napoleon history.
What a dynamite!
No, I was more thinking about Napoleon in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Of course he did like the.
While Socrates was doing something else.
Yeah.
Miss of Arc.
Anyway, I read out Napoleon was actually the Brits, funny enough, bit arseholes. No one was
No
good.
shit.
No one was good.
This is why our history lessons went from this happened quite early on. World War One. Anyway, we're going straight to World War One now.
Everyone was an arsehole at that point in time. Actually, you could until he became a complete and utter tyrant and declared himself emperor. Napoleon might not have been the biggest arsehole in Europe.
Yeah.
Anyway, leave that aside. Fanfare, everyone. It's only taken nearly a year and a half to finish a book. It's the first book I've actually finished reading, proper thick book. Finished reading since Connell came along, and I finished reading Critical Role's Kith and Kin, a kind of backstory to Vex and Vax.
Any good?
This is from the first campaign, isn't it?
Yeah, they're from the first campaign. Yeah, it is. It is. Like, there's quite. I haven't read that many books that are kind of very inspired by D&D. But I mean, let's see. So I haven't read many. I've read a few, obviously, comics that are based on it. Yeah, this is actually a lot of all the Critical Role stuff is genuinely well written. Like the Jester Lavore backstory book, comic book is great. The stuff around the Bright Queen is really heavy but really good, and this is a good book. This is nicely written. It really paints a nice picture of the world, and you get a nice if you know the character, even if you don't know the characters, it actually paints the characters really nicely. You get the idea, but you can also kind of feel the dice rolls in it, and you can feel it played out as if it was an episode. So you really do get like Laura and Liam kind of coming through how the characters are in the show, but also they play really nicely as the in the book. And broadly speaking, Vex and Vax end up on opposite sides of it's not really kind of like a conflict, and they basically save the day.
Nice.
But it's got some nice magic artifacts in it. It's got the clasp in it, so it's got the mafia type thing, and it's got some really spooky monsters. It also covers their actual backstory of when they're picked up by their father to go to Singorn, and when they come home, they don't actually see the dragon that burns their home, but it covers them going home and why they just ended up wandering. So
Sounds
I'd
good.
recommend
Nice.
if you read books and like Critical Role.
Oh yeah, that'll be a plus. I've seen a load of films, like loads of films. Went to the Wicker Man at cinema. That's pretty good, but that came out in the 70s, so that's not really a new film. Saw the new Spider-Man.
What Spider-Verse?
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, it is so fucking good. It is probably my film of the year. Absolutely love it. It's better than the first one, which is just high enough praise in itself. It might be the best
because the
superhero
first
film.
one was kind of the best Spider-Man movie up until it sounds like this one came out.
Yeah, Miles Morales might be my favorite Spider-Man now. Like just from this, he comes into his own in this one.
He's interestingly probably the favorite in this house as well, but that's just because of Spidey and his amazing friends.
Yeah, this one he really comes into his own. Like he is excellent in this, and it's just in general a really, really good film. I also saw the new Mission Impossible, which I also
Really?
fucking loved.
I didn't
it was
even realise that
excellent.
was actually out yet.
Yeah, it came out last week.
Yeah, that does
Loved it.
look
Absolutely
does look
loved
good.
it.
They've really got their formula for those kind of nailed, haven't they? Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. I'm the Oppenheimer as well. I'm excited about that. I'm trying to finish.
As he disappears out of sight.
Yeah, drop something. I tried to finish, and I'm trying to finish, and I am about halfway through the last podcast on the left, Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of their, like, if you start there, it is really good. It's one of their best, I think. So far.
That's the other thing I've done is I've listened to a lot of I haven't finished catching up on Critical Role, but I've listened to all of that. That was just breathtaking. I mean, it's just bonkers. Some of it, like the build up to it, is just absolutely bonkers.
I'm on episode 2. I've nearly finished episode 2, basically. So.
Ooh, you haven't got to the sloughing yet. But they probably have mentioned a lot about the sloughing.
They have, yeah.
Yeah.
They've mentioned it once or twice. I like the fact that the first experiment just took place in a squash court in Chicago.
Yeah.
Well,
they just piled all the radioactivity. This is how we get
it's
heat.
bonkers.
Yeah, it's just how we get the chain reaction going.
Yeah.
It's but it's also episode 2 where they talk all about the commandos, the weird missions and then also you learn a lot. Like, I know Oppenheimer deserves his own movie, but the people who deserve a TV series are the Curies.
Yes, like absolutely. I think they had one, to be fair.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but they're
the whole family, not just Marie, but their daughter and son-in-law, who fight in the French Resistance, as well as being nuclear physicists.
The story about getting the heavy water out.
Yeah.
Fucking unreal. That,
also, Niels
the
Bohr.
boat driver. The boat is mad.
British aristocrat.
Yeah, what was his name?
MacArthur or something like that. Yeah. He's minor a nobility or something. He's a baron or lord or
He
something.
got it back to Britain, and they unloaded it. He goes, "Oh, that was close. I'd say that was about 50-50." He
The fact they get
died.
to
Yeah, by
oh,
blowing himself up by trying to defuse an unexploded bomb.
because it was a hobby.
Because it was a hobby. Yeah.
So we don't get proper nutty aristocracy like we used to.
Second World War had them all, and that episode is one of my favourites. It was just so funny listening to that. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
The thing is, this series, the Manhattan Project series, is just the one that I was like, bring out the next episode. I just need that next episode, and then it gets.
I'm rattling through it. Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it. And also, it's possibly worth listening to before watching Oppenheimer. But I do think
that's
that
what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
they might have cast Oppenheimer perfectly as well.
Yeah, I think so as well.
By the sounds of it, if Matt Damon is as good as I think he might be.
Well, he's playing Grover, isn't he?
Yeah.
But it's and Oppenheimer's played by Cillian Murphy. But their history podcasts, their history episodes have been fucking phenomenal as well.
Did you enjoy the Chicago Rivers?
Yeah,
I mean, enjoy
is a difficult way of putting it. Yeah, not that into breast mutilation, so it's yeah. It was a good episode. It's good though. They considering how long they've been going, they are still so good and still so on it as well. Absolutely love them to bits.
Yeah, as a history podcast series, if you don't listen to anything else, I think the Manhattan Project is definitely one of the ones.
I would just start with that. Like that is, they set the bar quite high with that. The JFK one a few years back was pretty good.
The Black Death one as well.
The Black Death one's amazing as well. Yeah, I
all
think
the
the
big
history
hits.
ones are good.
All the big hits from history.
Yeah,
Well, they did Blackbeard as well.
Yeah,
and that was
Billy the Kid.
hilarious.
yeah.
So I definitely recommend the Manhattan Project. And then they've taken quite a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah, you might feel the need to lighten it up a bit after the Manhattan Project.
well, yeah, it's just you just think why you just end up going why Nagasaki. Like it's just ridiculous. So
Yeah.
but Niels Bohr is also hilarious in history as well. He just couldn't stop talking about bombs. This is how you do it. And it sort of nearly trying to get him out was harder than probably getting the heavy water out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Loved it.
sorry, we've probably
No, that's fine. That's what this is meant to be. Anything else they want to talk about, or should we wrap this up? Or
Trying
probably
to
did.
think. No, I think that's pretty much it for.
Yeah.
I do find it difficult to actually get into one of these, but yeah, Andor absolutely blew me away. It's
Yeah,
one of the
great,
best
right.
things I've seen for a very long time.
do you make you want to watch Rogue One again?
I have watched Rogue One again.
Have you
I
really?
haven't seen it.
It's so fucking good.
And yeah, like it's great. It just sets up that character perfectly.
Yeah.
It just gives him a lot because he's not. Yeah, he's a supporting character in Rogue One. Really,
Yeah.
He's not the focus of it. So you don't get a huge amount about him.
Yeah.
But like showing how he gets from being where he starts at the beginning of Andor to how he is at the beginning of Rogue One, where he will shoot in the back somebody who is on the same side as him.
Yeah.
It does a really good job of building a character who that feels realistic for.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have also started watching Battle Reports.
Oh,
And,
okay. Yeah, that's a good point. We should probably talk about that. 10th edition came out.
Yeah,
And I've played
10th edition
some.
came out.
It's fun. If you're playing at a tournament, you probably fucking hate it. But at the level I'm playing it, I'm really having a
People
great
who play
time.
at tournaments spend all the time that they're not playing in tournaments moaning about changes and harking back to some non-existent golden age somewhere between 6th and 7th editions when everything was perfect.
I love this idea because we played second and third, which was a
And
slog.
they changed the dice.
It was so complicated.
Yeah,
We kind
it
of
was,
almost moaned when they changed from
Although,
having lots of dice to just D6.
Have you seen
Yeah.
like the mechanics for shooting artillery in like first edition?
No.
You had this transparent grid that you overlaid over your target area, and then you rolled to like offset in different directions. So you get like battleships coordinates of where your hit went, and then
I
like
kind of love that.
every individual bit of a vehicle could be affected in different ways.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yes, that's
I'm
why
enjoying
it
the
took
battle.
2 days to play a game.
The battle report is of 10th edition League of Votan versus Harlequins.
Which one? Who did it?
Oh, come on. Don't ask me those questions.
Sorry, I thought I might just ask the actual thing you watched. Sorry.
Well, I don't know who did
So
it.
all you've said is you watched a battle report between League of Votan and
Yeah, well, hang on. I've got to look up who did it.
because I've watched a few battle reports. Tabletop Titans, for example, have been excellent. Ian Dempsey
MWG
stuff.
Studios.
Yeah, that's pretty good as well.
Yeah. I'm not really keen on the main guy, but it's kind of.
I watched this battle report. The guy's a prick, but like, it's just
It's fine. I am enjoying
MWG's
the
alright. They do a load of good kill team stuff. I know that much. But
I like the way
anyway.
people do battle reports now as well.
yeah,
Like
It's-
kind of editing
act-
them down, putting all the little effects and stuff in there. People have a lot of fun with them.
I like the fact that the League of Votan guy is actually the League of Catan, and he's changed all the heads of instead of the dwarfs, it's cats. And so because he's
That's
got the
quite cool.
Thunderkin, so Thunderkin, it was quite nice. I haven't finished it because it's like an hour long. Something I've been watching it whilst washing up, because watching Andor whilst washing up is not a good idea.
no.
Yeah, it's not really something you can't really watch it while trying to do something else. I was trying to watch it while painting some dudes, and that just wasn't happening.
You need to pay attention. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you kids shows. I would highly recommend Creature Cases. It's quite good fun. If you need a kids show. That's
Yeah,
about it.
and obviously new episodes of Bluey have dropped,
I know.
which is always cause for joy.
Yep.
I think if there's nothing else, Dan's going to go.
If we talk about kids shows, then we should probably wrap this up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just because you're going to lose interest. Oh shit! Just spilling wine. Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, you haven't watched Oppenheimer yet.
No, it's
Going
not
to
out
watch
till tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know what day of the week it is. Well, I'll do it. It's Thursday, so tomorrow's hell. So thank you very much. Oh, is there anything on the Marveling Marvel?
Nothing yet. No. Keep an eye out.
Okay.
We're going to do. It's gradually becoming a podcast we do twice a year, which is the end of the year review and the halfway through year review. So I think what we're going to do at some point is do our half year review.
There is that interesting chat about Josh watching Teen Titans and some very interesting
That show is
discussion
trash,
about
by the way.
Robin.
Show is absolute trash. Like it's fucking awful. People say, well, it's all right. There is a million better Batman shows out there to watch. Why are you bothering with this one?
Well, the best you can say about something is, well, it's all right.
Yeah.
Then go and watch something better.
Yeah, basically. 100%. Completely agree.
Yeah, watch Spidey and His Amazing Friends. It's fantastic. Right. Anyway, so if there's no more Marveling Marvel, Russ, thanks very much.
Laters, peeps.
Dan, cheery bye.
Goodbye. Come see us on Twitter. It's just at TMTOH, and Instagram at TMTOH as well, and the Discord, which is the pin tweet, and the bio on both of those things. Bye.
And with bye-bye from me, and with that, cue the music. I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy hole.